My husband pushed the adoption papers back across the table and said, "I'm not putting my name on something defective." My daughter Rosie was 6 years old when I married Vincent. She had been in my life since the day she was born. She had Down syndrome, and she was the most joyful person I had ever known. She laughed at everything. She hugged strangers. She told every person she met that they were beautiful. Rosie was not defective. Rosie was perfect. Vincent knew about Rosie before we started dating. He met her on our third date because I didn't believe in hiding the most important part of my life. He said she was adorable. He said he loved kids. He said having a child with special needs didn't scare him at all. He said all the right things. He said them so convincingly that I believed him. We dated for 2 years before he proposed. During that time, Vincent was good with Rosie. He played with her. He read her stories. He came to her school events and clapped when she performed in the holiday show. He seemed like a man who genuinely cared about my daughter. I thought I had found someone who would love both of us. We got married in a small ceremony at a vineyard. Rosie was the flower girl, and she threw petals everywhere, including at the officiant. Everyone laughed. Vincent laughed too. He picked her up and spun her around and called her his best girl. I cried because I was so happy. 6 months after the wedding, I brought up adoption. Rosie's biological father had never been in the picture. He signed away his rights before she was born and disappeared. Vincent was the only father figure she had ever known. I thought making it official would be beautiful. I thought Vincent would be honored. I brought home the paperwork and spread it on the kitchen table after Rosie went to bed. I explained what each form meant. I showed him where to sign. I told him we could have a little celebration afterward. Maybe take Rosie to get ice cream and tell her the good news. Vincent looked at the papers for a long time. Then he pushed them back across the table toward me. He said he wasn't going to sign. I asked why. He said he had been thinking about this and he didn't want the legal responsibility. I asked what legal responsibility he was worried about. He said Rosie would need care for her entire life. He said people with Down syndrome couldn't live independently. He said if something happened to our marriage, he would be on the hook for supporting her forever. I reminded him that Rosie was already part of our family. I reminded him that he had known about her from the beginning. I reminded him that he had stood at our wedding and promised to love and cherish both of us. He said that was different. He said loving someone and legally binding yourself to them were two separate things. He said I shouldn't take it personally. Then he said the words, "I will never forget." He said he wasn't putting his name on something defective. I asked him to repeat himself because I was sure I had misheard. He said it again. He said Rosie was defective and he wasn't going to legally claim a defective child. He said it calmly, like he was explaining a reasonable decision, like he was declining an extended warranty on a car, like my daughter was a product that didn't meet his standards. I didn't yell, I didn't cry. I sat there looking at the man I had married, and I realized I had made a terrible mistake. Not about Rosie, about him. I asked him if he had ever actually loved my daughter. He said of course he loved her. He said he just loved her from a safe distance. He said there was nothing wrong with protecting himself financially. He said I was being emotional and not thinking clearly. He said we could still be a happy family without him signing papers. He said the paperwork didn't change anything. I told him the paperwork changed everything. I told him a father doesn't call his child defective. I told him a husband doesn't refuse to commit to his wife's daughter after promising to love them both. He said I was overreacting. He said plenty of stepparents never adopted their stepchildren. He said I was making this into a bigger issue than it needed to be. I slept in Rosie's room that night. She asked me why I was on the floor next to her bed. I told her I just wanted to be close to her. She said, "Okay, mama," and fell asleep holding my hand. She didn't know that her stepfather had just called her defective. She didn't know that the man who read her bedtime stories saw her as a liability. She just knew that her mother was there, and that was enough for her. The next week, I contacted a divorce lawyer. Full story on channel. Link below.